What is happening, DeRosa Insiders community? This is Matt Faircloth, and welcome to the DeRosa Insiders Live program. This program is live, like I said, so you guys can watch it live. If you're watching on Facebook, thank you. If you're watching on the DeRosa YouTube page, thank you. If you're watching on LinkedIn, thank you. Any of those places are places where you guys can watch us and keep up with us and hear all kinds of interesting stuff that DeRosa is talking about in a live fashion. So why would you not jump on the magic internet box and go over to Facebook, go to DeRosa Insiders, go to YouTube, look up DeRosa Group. You can find hundreds of videos that we've shot educating people on the greatness of real estate investing and how it can help you achieve your financial goals right there on YouTube. So why not check it out? And also connect with us on LinkedIn as well, because there's lots of great stuff happening there too. So today's program is going to be awesome, guys. I've got some great conversations we're going to be having with one of our students in our Accelerator program. And we're going to be talking about property management. We're going to talk about leaving family legacies. We're going to talk about all kinds of great stuff on that side of it. So stay tuned for our awesome guest for today's program, and also jump in for today's we're going to talk about a current event, right? About what's going on in today's market with regards to interest rates. So let's hop into the program. If you guys are watching live, give me a quick hello in the comment section. All right, guys. So here's what's going on with interest rates. And this is how I wanted to teach you guys about how to play interest rates in your real estate investing business. Because some of you guys might have watched this video thinking like, oh, rates are coming down, maybe I should hop in. Or rates are just begun to come down, and I'm going to sit on the fence and wait, right? I'm going to talk to you in this video about what you guys can do today to properly play the falling rate environment. We've been in a rising rate environment for the last 2 years. And some would say we're in a deducting or a falling rate environment, right? Now, here's a few tips I want to give you guys, and I'm going to give you guys some real investing strategies that we at DeRosa, and we control thousands of units of multifamily, and I'll tell you what we are doing going into this potentially falling rate environment, and perhaps you can take some of that home, right? Number one, my crystal ball is broken. I do not know if the Fed will drop rates. Today, this video is being shot in October of 2024, and going into 2024, the Fed said that they were going to drop rates 4 times this year. Well, they haven't. They decided to change their mind, as people sometimes do. And some people might think that the Fed is going to drop rates more, but what if they don't? What if the magic inflation boogeyman comes back and they raise rates again? They could, right? All we know for a fact is rates are what they are today. Okay, that's number one. And I don't want you guys to make investing bets, let's say, because this is what it would be, speculating for rates to fall. Now, they might. And some of the very smart people that I follow in the world think that they will, and they probably will. But like I said, my crystal ball is in the shop, okay? And nobody really knows what the Fed's going to do with regards to rates. They could possibly keep rates where they are for a while, right? And if that happens, if you buy a deal that works with rates here, and rates are currently above that, and you think like, well, if rates fall, the deal I'm buying today, I can refinance at tomorrow's rates and it'll be screaming hot. Then I'll just lose a little bit of money per month at today's rates until I can refi into a lower interest rate. Do not be that investor. Don't do that. You're really gambling. You are speculating as to what rates could do, and you're making bets at what rates are in the future. For example, let's say 4% is the interest rate you need to see to make your multifamily investment deal work. Okay. And money is currently, around 6 today in October of 2024 for small to mid-sized multifamily. If that's the case, then the deal you've got that only works at a 4% interest rate, maybe doesn't work, right? So the bottom line, guys, is going into a falling rate environment. If you buy deals that work today and rates go down, that deal only gets better. Okay. So the bottom line that I want you guys to take in is if you guys do deals at today's cash flow projections, at what today's interest rates are. Borrow money for today. Don't buy a deal hoping that it'll make sense tomorrow, right? If it makes sense today and rates get better, your deal just got better. If the rates get worse, thankfully, you bought them at today's rates and you're still in a better position, right? So that's my tip for the day, guys, with regards to interest rates. Yes, they may come down, but buy at today's rates. Now, the carve out, the caveat, the optimist in me, I'm a bleeding optimist. I love thinking positively. And so if you are an optimist like me, here's what you want to do. You want to buy at today's rates, but don't put a 10-year lock on your interest rates, or buy a deal that you can't refinance maybe it's protected by Fannie or Freddie, or there's a ginormous prepayment penalty to get out of the deal. Don't do deals where you're handcuffed to today's interest rates. Give yourself that flexibility that if, knock on wood, rates do go down, you can refinance into a lower interest rate in the future. So you have that freedom, but at least you are locked in and non-floating at today's interest rate. So that's my tip, is if rates go down, maybe accept a 1 or 2% prepayment penalty to refinance, but nothing super big, or a loan term that's maybe 5 years, 3 years, something like that. So if rates go down, you can enjoy a lower interest rate. So that's the optimist in me speaking. That's what we are doing here at DeRosa, is we are doing fixed rate debt, but we're doing debt that it's not too long of a time horizon, so that if things get a little bit better, we can refi to something lower and enjoy more cash flow. That's what I got for you guys on what to do in a falling rate environment and how to invest and make deals work today. All right. Hope you enjoy, guys. If you guys like what we have here on this YouTube channel, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, for my live people, hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave some comments, tell me what you guys thought. But that is my thoughts on what to do in a falling rate environment. Who knows, right? What's going to happen tomorrow? I don't know. We'll see. Guys, I've got a great guest that I want to bring onto the program today, onto the DeRosa Insiders Live program for you guys to enjoy. If you guys are not watching live, that's okay, because we go live every week here on all of our social media feeds, including YouTube. And we bring on great guests. So if you guys are watching this recording, make sure that Keith's watching us from Lakeland, Florida. I'm gonna give you a shout out, Keith. Here you go. Boom. There you are. What's up, Keith? Kevin, that's also not Keith. Kevin, maybe Keith's your brother. Hey, Kevin, nice to meet you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. In Lakeland, Florida. So we're going to bring on a guest now who's one of our DeRosa Accelerator program students. And we're going to have all kinds of cool conversations about legacy management, all kinds of cool stuff. So let's bring on our guest, give lots of hearts and love to our guest today, Theresa Leatherbury. Theresa, how are you?
Doing terrific, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing great. Doing good. Thank you. Welcome to the DeRosa Insiders Live program today. I appreciate you agreeing to join us. So tell me a bit, you have a very interesting backstory, and I like to, I'm leery of this myself as someone just like you who's trying to build legacy for my family, trying to build wealth for myself that I can enjoy now, but also hand this down to generations to come. You are a generation that is enjoying the downline of efforts that were before you. And I joke that a lot of times we look at second and third generations, that those are the ones that completely squander, and it all ends up going up their nose and everything like that, if you know what I'm saying, for wealth that was built by the first generations. You are the exception to that rule. Somehow or another, you and your siblings and your upline family were able to keep the party going that was created by your grandfather years ago. So tell us a bit of that backstory. Maybe my hope is that we can unpack a few lessons for those listening on how they could look to create something similar and not build this thing that gets squandered by their children or by their children's children. So talk us through your backstory first, and we'll unpack.
Sure. I'll take you all the way back to my grandfather, who was just a very smart, charismatic man. Wasn't without mistakes along the way. That's for sure. Yeah, family businesses always have some kind of skeleton in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather started as a bricklayer. He was from Long Island, New York, came down to Baltimore, was doing some work in the construction industry. And through his connections, through his charisma, through his smarts, he started creating partnerships. He started doing some developing apartments, development projects, single family homes, townhomes, things like
Hmm.
that. He did some commercial pieces. He did a large retail plaza that was then converted into a local mall in the Baltimore area. Then through the years, my father started working with him. It's my maternal grandfather. So this would have
Got
been
it.
his son-in-law. Started working with him, and they started to continue to grow the portfolio. They went through some ups and downs over time. And then, as many families do, there was a squabble over money at the second generation.
Oh.
And that's what happened. So my grandfather's portfolio was split into 3 buckets for his 3 daughters. My father took my mother's bucket and the work he was doing and continued to grow that. And
Hmm.
that's what we have been working on and working through ever since.
Okay, so the other 2 buckets, without naming websites or companies or whatever, do you keep track of what happened to those buckets of money and those investments? Have they grown and flourished as well, or did they end up just getting dissolved and not watered and seeded and grown like you have?
They're mostly they've mostly been sustained.
Hmm,
And the reason for that is there was definitely some financial planning in that there are trustees overseeing the portfolios
I
to
see.
help
That's
protect
good.
them. There aren't any other third generation working in those properties, on those portfolios anymore. My family is the only family who has continued the work in the business.
I see. So there's in the second generation in that on those other families, you got handed second generation. There were trustees, third parties overseeing these things, and they just said, okay, we'll kind of put it in a lockbox, and have some rules and regulations on when you can tap the money in the lockbox and everything like that. But it's not growing like others are, right?
Right,
Um,
right.
it's so interesting. It's always the son-in-laws and the in-laws that get involved in these things, but oh, okay. Here, can you give this to him? Live television.
Interruption.
Yeah, straight. I'll be right there. The joys of live programming, Nabiku. Let me go close that door. Tell him I'll be right there. I dropped my phone in the airport the other day, Theresa, and I cracked the screen, and the guy that looking to repair the screen is here to repair my screen.
Oh.
So there we go. But anyway, joys of live programming, right, Nabiku? Here we go. But we might have to keep it tight a little bit, Theresa. But I'm going to keep going here with a few key tips, right?
Sure.
So bringing it back in, Nabiku. So make sure Marco clips right here. So it sounds like, Theresa, one of the benefits is in creating these. Well, you tell me. Like, if you were giving advice to someone perhaps like you and I, that's trying to build long-term family legacy and whatnot for our families down line and everything like that. What are some tips what if we want to do what your grandfather did, and to kind of build those, plant those seeds that could be grown through generations. And if you look at what was done properly through your family downline, there are multiple people, including yourself and other siblings you have, and maybe other cousins or whatever, that are making a living, off of this portfolio. And then they're able to build their livelihood and feed their families off of this initial seed that was planted by your grandfather years and years ago. What's some advice you've got for people that want to do the same for themselves?
Some of the biggest things that I think about and the success that we've had has been exposing the next generation to the business kind of as early as possible. I know both of my brothers at one point worked for my grandfather and they got to know the business. I think that's one way to do it. I also feel like you have to be careful about having them feel kind of entitled to a certain role in the business.
You said the big E word.
Yeah, I said the big E word.
Yeah. Has that
Because
ever shown up? Do you see the entitled energy show up at all in this world of you've got this ginormous, we're building these big pools, these big snowballs of money and of wealth, and you want to watch that, there's the family goal to help build and maintain and grow it and not feel entitled to it.
right, not feel entitled to it.
Yeah.
One of the
you
things
know?
that I think we've been successful is surrounding ourselves with a good team.
Mm.
Non-family members in certain important management and leadership roles.
Yeah.
That has really helped us as well because they've brought in experience and years of just knowledge that because they had been outside our company first, and so they would bring things into the company that would help us. I also feel like family members, if possible, it would be good for them to have that opportunity to work outside the business
Mhm.
before they come into the business. I know that when I came into the business, I didn't think I was going to be part of the business. I had
Oh.
worked a completely different career
Huh.
for 18 years, and I brought that. It was a career, it was a business that was kind of going through some major changes and shifts, and I was gonna change a little bit, and my father asked me to come work for him. Never
Hmm.
thought that that was an option. I don't think that, I don't think that he understood what I could do. I didn't know what I could do. I knew nothing about the business. Both of my brothers were in the business. Both of my brothers were in the business from high school, really. So I
Mm.
came in with a different business mindset that wasn't always well received from other family members. So there
Hmm.
was a little bit of a clash going on. Over time, the family members have seen the benefits of the other experience that I brought into the business and how that's
Mm.
been helping the family grow.
Hmm. I love
I
that idea of I don't know if there's like a mandate or if you've like a family manifesto or whatever, but if you don't, there should be that should be one of the rules is that you got to go work somewhere else before you work here. If you're working in like a family business or family operation, because I've seen other family operations run and it can become so entangled and like the only way they know how to do business is the way that the family does business, and you end up with these awful phrases that get said like this is the way we've always done it and this is the way that granddaddy was doing it and so we got to do it this way too, because there's been no exposure to other work cultures or other best habits that happen outside that ecosphere, you know. So I think that's a great lesson too for anybody listening here that wants to build this like family legacy snowball for themselves, you know. So fast forward to today, your company, you're on the property management side, running part of the real estate assets that the company owns, totaling over 500 units, correct?
about 700 units, yes.
700 units under management. That's awesome.
Mhm.
So, what are like, and these are larger multifamily assets, not onesie twosie single families or anything like that. These are larger
Right,
properties. Okay,
right.
got it. Um, what was the most surprising, like hopping into the multifamily management pool, coming from where you came from? Like, what kind of was the biggest learning curve in learning how to run, you know, mid to large size multifamilies?
I think I had to learn everything from the ground up.
All right.
Because I came into this when I came into the business, we were not managing our properties. We had a third party manager. We were doing some land development, some home building. That kind of all went away in 08, 09. When I came into the business, I
Hmm.
immediately was attracted to the property management side of the business.
Hmm.
I sat with the property managers and I learned what I could. I did industry education. I got certifications. I studied a lot. After about 2 years of being in the business, I decided that we've got what it takes to bring our management in-house. So I
Hmm.
started our management business about 2 years being in to the business,
Okay.
and I just realized how important good people are. And
Hmm.
over time, we've kind of transitioned out some stagnant people and brought in people who were growth and abundance mindset people, and they wanted to learn. We've made a lot of changes. Um, Being part of the industry associations helped significantly. The people that I met, the information that I learned, and I feel like always learning something new is very important, and
Hmm.
that's really helped us. So now we manage our 700 units, and we're looking to grow that. We actually just signed on with a third-party client that is also in growth mode, so we're excited about taking on somebody else's management. And that
All
was
right.
something that I wasn't really looking for, but through some networking, it was referred to us. And I said, let's take a look at it, and decided that this company fits really well with our values and it
Hmm.
was going to be a good fit. So we're doing that as well.
Hmm. And it's tough, like as a startup company, to think about things of like, what are your values, right? Like, what does your company stand for? Well, I mean, how about I stand for not going bankrupt this month? Like that's my value, is making a few dollars. But the companies that I've seen that are successful are ones. I mean, Liz and I came up with this phrase when we started DeRosa, transforming lives through real estate, very early in the game. And I think that even when you're just getting started, it's important to think about what you're standing on, right? And then I'm sure has enabled you in hiring the right people and aligning with the right people, being willing to do the right projects. And as you said, taking on a very strategic, you're really locking arms with somebody if you're going to be managing their multifamily asset for them, and making sure they've got the right philosophy. Because as you know, there's some people that just manage to the bottom line versus managing to the prosperity mindset of it and playing the long game and everything like
Right.
that. So kudos to you guys for having written goals and standards and foundations as a company.
And that has been really helpful. We went through an exercise several years ago where we had all the employees give input on what we thought our values were, what we thought our mission should be, and what we should be our guiding principles. And we settled on our guiding principles. We call it building value, creating experience. And the building value part is not only building value for the owners of the real estate that we manage, but also building value in the lives of the people who work for Rachuba. That
Yeah.
was very important. It's very important to have them continue to learn, to want to grow, to be happy with where they are or where they want to go. And that's been a
Mhm.
really good fit. They all helped
Mhm.
us create our values and our mission statement, and now they're willing to really grab it and own it and live it. And we
Yeah,
s and we see that a lot with our employees. And we
that's
have
great.
very
And
little turnover too, so we've been very fortunate.
And you probably have this, as I started to see it at DeRosa when we started to establish a really good culture. Um, they start to see it as their company too, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Whether it's true or not, they feel like they own, a piece of it. Now we have some, company, share programs that we do and everything like that with some of our staff, but they just feel like it's theirs, when they're aligned with that culture, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. So, okay. So that you're not only, you're managing all these apartment buildings and stuff like that, but you've gotten into taking into the equity side because you want to buy more, right? I mean, I know you can't just take as a, downline from someone who planted a seed, probably 60 years ago, 70 years ago, as your grandfather did. You can't just take the flowers that are growing from that plant. You want to plant your own seeds now. And that's one of those things, that it's good. I mean, I think some of your grandfather rubbed off on you, that you're out there trying to find more deals that you can do so that 3 generations below Theresa are now out there looking for, growing and everything like that, because you can't just take what's been given you and maintain it. You have to grow as well. Right.
Right.
What inspired, like, what does that look like in the desire to grow your acquisitions and that, like, how's that gone so far, and talk us through what you're up to now?
Well, if you're not growing, you're dying. So it's
Yeah.
there's no maintaining. And that's the mindset that I
Yeah.
have is we've got, the next generation. There are 10, 11 in the next generation already, the youngest of which is 25. We need to be
Hmm.
growing for the
Awesome.
next generation. So there was the concern about the family trust and the value of the assets and growing for the next generation. And also just the excitement of a little bit of the excitement of the chase, the growth
Yeah.
the growth mindset that I would love to acquire some more properties. Let's figure out how to do it. And
Hmm.
do I do it trying just to use the family money? Well, there are definitely some roadblocks with that because it's not just my money, it's the family money, it's a collective decision.
You got to run that through the committee,
Gotta
right?
run
And
that,
and
run that
and
through.
and, not, and the committee might not want to do all that stuff and everything like that, right?
And
So,
anybody who works in a family business knows decisions are not made quickly at all in a family business.
yeah,
Then as I've met people and talked to people like you, Matt, I think you and I met a long time ago and then just sort of got reconnected a couple years ago. The concept of helping other people grow their wealth through real estate and being the catalyst to help make that happen. That was very
yeah.
intriguing to me. And that's when I started to really dive into that and look a little bit more into that. And when I saw your coaching program, I thought this is exactly what I need to frame my mindset on how to move this forward.
That's so great. That's so great because, like, there's something to like for the listeners here. There's something to be said for taking the skill sets we learned, like kind of like, okay, here's this big bag of skills that I've got, and I can use these skills to benefit myself. But what if I can take them out and serve others with that too, right?
Right.
And I think that, as they say, the more people you serve, the more money you're going to make. And so that seems to be evident in your corporate culture you've created in your management company, but also in your desire to do more deals and grow in that, while also helping investors make a return on the backs of 3 generations worth of knowledge that you have, and on property management, and on the derivatives and learning and building and everything like that you learned over the years as well. So well, that's all great. So you're active down there. Look, how's the Baltimore, DC, Maryland market going right now? I think that's your playground, right? So how are those markets doing?
We're seeing a lot of maybe not a significant amount, but we've seen some deals recently. One of the things is there are certain areas that we're not comfortable going into, and there
Yeah.
seems to be a lot more properties trading in those areas where, maybe we're not comfortable, my team's not comfortable,
Yeah.
maybe there's not really long-term growth in those markets. I've looked at several since I've been in this program with you. I've probably looked at 8 or 10 deals and haven't been able to get any of them to sort of really pencil out. I've got 2 now that I'm again looking at. And I think that the tools that you are providing are helping us analyze whether or not they make sense. There have been some deals where the roadblock was I wanted to get the family involved and they weren't interested. And that has been a roadblock a couple of times. There's movement in this market. It's not a huge amount of movement, but I'm seeing more and more. Recently, I'm seeing a few
We're
things.
seeing that too. We're seeing a lot more deals come on. A lot of them don't make sense. But I've told you what I've told our other students too. Don't be afraid to make an offer, just because if
Right,
they're asking X and 80% of X is where the deal makes sense.
right.
Most deals that I'm seeing that actually go to closing are always closing for a good bit less than what the seller puts them on the market for, because we're in a bit of a retracting market. Although rates are coming back down, I still think that sellers' expectations are definitely changing quickly. So, and they're willing to maybe take a bucket of cold water in the face,
Right.
on what they need. Maybe they need that and what their deal's worth. So, that's great. Okay, talk me. So that's that. Let's see, talking points. Other things we got to do here that I want to cover. Hold on. Come on first. No, that's fine. Is it done? Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. I owe you one. If you could remind me to buy my wife flowers, Okay. So Theresa, I want to make just move it over to like, what's the capital raising initiative been like for someone that's got a ton of industry experiences you have? What's it been like, beginning the journeys of getting a lot of eyeballs and new attention on your company, for raising capital for the initiatives that you're in the middle of?
I've been doing it a lot through networking, initially starting through networking, talking to people that I know. I have a really great, a really great network in the Baltimore area,
Mhm.
just through some networking groups and people that I've met. And in that process, I've met several in the real estate space or who are interested in investing in real estate. So I
Mhm.
started with just conversations with people. Then I started, I just started working with Marissa from Cat Bloom. So I'm putting that CRM in place. That is not up and running yet, or we're probably about a month away before that is happening. But I've
Mhm.
had some conversations of there's one person that I know whose wife is a doctor and they're ready to invest, and she has a lot of network in the medical field who want to invest. I've had conversations with people who are already in the real estate space that are willing to partner with me either on the GP side or on the LP side. And I've even met one of your other students actually,
Yeah.
and we started talking about partnering
Mark.
in the Maryland, yeah, with Mark.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
Maryland
Yeah.
area, we looked at one property
That's great.
together. We're potentially looking at another property together. So a lot of it is the networking. I have not done the hit the ground running marketing social media campaign, and I think the Cat Bloom CRM is really going to help me.
You will, and a lot of that's when you got to, when you really want to put the pedal in and push for a deal and everything like that. But I want like the listeners to hear that it's we've all got a community. It's not like Theresa went and said, okay, let me, go and make all new friends and go join a new country club and go move to a new area. Let me move to a new place where there's people with money. And then I'm going to go and raise money from that market. Right.
Right.
Like what you guys want to do, listeners here, is learn to just tell people that are all around you what you do. And how great investing is, and talk about investing shop in the circles that you're in, one of which the Theresa's in is our Accelerator program, which Nabiku, please put some links for folks and the coupon code too, because we're doing a 50% off your first month for Accelerator if you join now. So Nabiku can post all that here in the feed. But there's other people in networks that you're in. I just got back from Bigger Pockets from BPCon. And you never know who's in rooms and who's in circles when you join them and stuff like that, like Accelerator. So it's also about joining new circles too, and making sure those in new circles are aware of what you do.
Right.
In that. So all good tips. So what I want to ask you to do is, because we're going to get a little clip here for promoting our Accelerator, I'm going to drop out and just give me just talk through a few things that you've gotten out of Accelerator, what it's done for you, how you benefited from it, and everything like that, because we're going to use this for our content, for online marketing and stuff like that. So I'm going to drop out and just from your heart, tell us what Accelerator's done for you as a student. Then I'll jump back in. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
So I feel really fortunate that I found the Accelerator program. I didn't really know what I was looking for, but I found what I needed. I was in another program that wasn't really working for me. The thing that I really love about the Accelerator program, all of the educational tools are very helpful. Also, the individual tools that you offer through that, whether that be the due diligence documents, the underwriting tools, all of the marketing materials, all of the guidance and everything, those tools are very, very valuable. In fact, I used the underwriting tool when I was pitching an opportunity to another potential investor, and they loved that tool. They thought it was perfect. The thing that I really love the most are the people and the classroom hours. I've gotten to know so many people. I've had some offline conversations with several of the people and the students that I've met in the program. All of the DeRosa team, they're just all very, first of all, they're very smart, very knowledgeable about the industry, but just always willing to help, willing to listen, willing to offer advice, willing to help, do whatever they can to help us out. And I'm really excited to be able to continue into the program as I'm continuing into this and learning more. I like to absorb. I'm like a sponge when it comes to education, and this program has just really, really been helpful for me for that.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate you. How do your company's Rachuba, Rachuba?
It's pronounced Rachuba.
Rachuba. Okay.
Rachuba.
All right. Here's what I'm gonna do. I didn't even think I just thought of this while you were giving us a little testimonial there. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give Theresa a testimonial too.
Okay.
So, Nabika, I'm going to do this. You don't have to pop into Beaks, but I know you can hear me. I'm going to drop Theresa out, and I'm going to give a 20-second promo for Rachuba, Theresa, for you to just I'll have Nabiku send you the MP4. You can have my editor. We can have my editor edit it for you if you need to. But use it. Just put it on your shelf, and when you need it for emails, or you want to put it on your website or whatever. Use it for what it is. But I'll give you a testimonial on why I think people should consider Rachuba to invest. Okay. All right. Yep. You'll be right back. Hey guys, my name is Matt Faircloth, and our company controls thousands of units of multifamily all across the United States. And I want to take a minute real quick to tell you why I strongly think you guys should consider investing with Rachuba. Their founder, Theresa Leatherbury, is a great friend of mine and a student of our programs. And I believe that Rachuba is run just on what you want to consider as a company that's been there. This is not their first, second, third, or fourth time investing in multifamily or running multifamily assets. They've run multifamily for generations. This is not someone who took a course a year ago, decided to buy apartment buildings, and is now deciding to get into them for the very first time. You're not investing with a firm that is on the learning curve. You're investing with a firm that has generations of knowledge on how to run real estate business. That's what Rachuba is all about. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get a company that's growing, but is growing on great foundations and generations of knowledge. And also, when you talk to them, you'll get a lot out of asking them what their company standards are, what the foundations that they're built on. And this is something that propagates all the way down through all of their staff and all their people. They bleed their company culture. And that's something that I believe at DeRosa, transforming lives through real estate, that we stand upon. And I like doing business with companies that have those same tight foundations that they're standing on as well. And I see that with Rachuba. So I strongly believe that you guys should consider investing with them and entrusting them with your dollars so you can grow alongside them.
Thank you.
There you go.
That was awesome.
Was that good? All right, cool.
Yep, that was awesome. Thank you.
On the fly. All right. So for those watching here, watching this video, and Nabeeks, by the way, you can cut out those two testimonials. Have Marco cut those out because we can just use those as separate content when you do the long form video for YouTube. But let's transition back so we can get put this into the back of the long form. All right, 3, 2, 1. So Theresa, really great tips. I really love I want to unpack a few things. The generational knowledge that your company has, and that you've been able to take things that you've learned and not just rest on your laurels and continue to grow with what you've been entrusted with. Number one, I love the company foundations that you've created with your staff, and I love where you want to go. And you're going to get there. So, how do people that want to reach out and hear more about Rachuba, how do they do that?
Well, they can contact us on our website, which is www.rachuba.com. And Rachuba is spelled Rachuba. I'm also on LinkedIn, so you can find me on LinkedIn and message me through there. That's probably the two best ways to find me.
There you go. There you go, guys. Keep an eye on Theresa Leatherbury and on Rachuba. That is a company on the rise. That's an organization you guys are going to be hearing a lot more about and a lot more from. Investing in the let's say in like the kind of central part of the United States there, in the breadbasket of America there in Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, those areas in the Midwest, or I'm sorry, in the Mid-Atlantic. That's the word I was struggling for. Mid-Atlantic region investor. That's what you're going to be. That's what you're going to get when you invest in Rachuba with decades of industry experience. So, all right, Theresa, thank you for joining us on the on DeRosa Insiders Live. Really great having you here.
Thank you. It was an honor to be here. Thank you.
Cool. Hey guys, great program with Theresa. Great conversation on what to do about, investing in a falling rate environment. Are we trying to catch a falling knife, or should we just invest for today's numbers? You heard what I said. Invest for today's number. Invest for deals that work today at today's interest rates. That's what I think you should do. And if rates go down a little bit, it only makes your deal that much sweeter. That's what I got for today, guys. Make sure you join us on DeRosa, the DeRosa Insiders Live program every Tuesday at noon Eastern. Every Tuesday at noon Eastern. Come see us here on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, wherever it is we are live. Come see us. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.